London.
It's 11 minutes past 7, and David Cameron has told activists on the very last day of the Conservative Party conference that Britain must act now to remain a competitive economy. Mr Cameron said he was determined to rise to the challenge, but people are going to have to face hard truths.
Unless we act, unless we take difficult, painful decisions, unless we show determination and imagination, Britain may not be in the future what it has been in the past. Because the truth is this: we are in a global race today. And that means an hour of reckoning for countries like ours. Sink or swim, do or decline.
We can now speak to London political blogger Adam Bienkov. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
What did you make of the Prime Minister's speech? Was it impressive? Did it strike the right note?
I thought it was a lot more gloomy speech than we've seen in previous years. I remember David Cameron's first speech as leader. He was talking about optimism beating pessimism and let sunshine win the day. Well, we didn't hear a lot of that yesterday. It was more about Britain facing terminal decline, do or die. We're on the edge of a precipice. We could go down as a nation, we could go up. So I think that was a real change from previous years.
Do you think there's any sense in which it was almost a tacit response to the slightly bumptious, according to some commentators, speech that Boris made? He was all up and jolly and almost a stand-up, and David Cameron seemed much more measured and mature, possibly.
Yes, well, Boris's speech was a lot more optimistic. He was talking about selling cake to the French and selling bikes to the Dutch, and he had the activists rolling in the aisles. I think David Cameron, by contrast, wanted to appear more statesmanlike, and I think he did pull that off, really.
And we didn't get a lot of mentions, apart from occasionally negatively, of the Lib Dems as part of this. So is it basically marking out the territory for the next election?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Lib Dems in their conference, they spoke a lot about setting up a mansion tax and new wealth taxes, and that was all to please the activists. All of that was ruled out this week at the Conservative conference. So I think this conference for David Cameron was an attempt to try and shore up his core vote, really. He didn't want to mention Lib Dems. He wanted to portray himself as a real conservative leader. I think that was what it was all about. Lib Dems didn't really get a look in at all.
Which leader do you think has done best or most improved this time round during conference season?
Well, if you look at the polls, Ed Miliband has improved the most. His personal ratings have improved massively from what they are. They're still not great. I think they're about -10 at the moment. David Cameron's and Nick Clegg's are even worse. Boris Johnson's, on the other hand, have much better. His approval ratings, I think, up in the 50s or 60s. He's definitely done a lot to impress the Conservative Party that he's possibly a future leader, although I don't think that's going to happen before the next election.
Thank you for joining us, London political blogger Adam Bienkov there, talking about the final day of the Conservative Party conference and party leader and Prime Minister David Cameron's keynote